Hello everyone, welcome back to Radio Space. Today's topic is very interesting. It's food safety essentials. What everybody should know, what I think everybody should know, like something they call common sense. Yeah, it should be a common thing that we should take note of. Sometimes we might neglect them or we might not put our mind on them, but these are just common things I think we should know as food handlers. And it's a compilation of some questions. I will try and answer as much as I can on this episode. If not, I'll carry it over to the next episode where we continue to treat the questions. And before we proceed, if you're tuning in for the first time, thank you very much for tuning in. I will appreciate if you don't scroll up and listen to what I'm saying. If you find it very helpful, you can subscribe and feel free to tune back to the old videos and check what I've dropped there. You might find one or two information to be useful to you. And if you are returning subscribers watching me again, I appreciate you. Thank you for turning up for me to me. Thank you for supporting me. Your support is greatly appreciated. Okay, let's dive into today's topic. Says, what is food safety? Food safety, as we know, it's a way of protecting our food from foodborne illness or diseases. And foodborne illness can range from something mild or simple as just stomach ache, nausea, feeling nauseated, to something brutal, causing underlying illnesses or causing life or terminal sicknesses, or can even lead to death of an individual. There is a scenario, I'll use a case study of what happened in some states of the US. It's in the news, it's online. Around last year, December 3rd, 2024, it was recorded that a McDonald company in the States sold a burger that contained raw onion. They called it silver onion. I'm not too sure. I don't think if I get it right, the pronunciation. It's a raw onion that has been infected by E. coli, a form of bacteria, microbacteria, microorganism. It has been affected. People came in, bought the burger. It recorded that almost 104 people fell sick through eating that burger. 34 people were hospitalized, and a death was recorded. I think it claimed the life of one person. That is why foodborne illness, when it comes to food and safety, we must be on our top game. It must be A or nothing. We have to be very careful. The little details we fail to attack or to take off might be the cause of, or might spoil the whole thing that we have been doing in the kitchen for so long. And when it comes to onion, I don't know, some people think, I've seen many people cut onion in half and place it for days before they say they want to use it again. I don't think it's advisable for us to cut onion in half and leave it for later. It is advisable that when you cut your onion, finish it. Try as much as possible to take the onion, the size of the onion that you will be able to consume at a spot or at a go, not leaving it for later, because the bacteria tend to feed on them. They attract bacteria in the environment, which might not be edible, which might not be good for human consumption. That aside, this will dive us straight into today's question and answer. I appreciate if you listen and if you pay attention and listen through all through to the end. You might gain one or two things. I just plead with you, please don't scroll this away. Listen to the end and you see if what I'm about to say pertains to you, or you are guilty in one form or the other. The first question on my book here, which I've been receiving calls on, I've gotten so much attention, I've dreamed attention on, and people around me they have been asking this question is, how long can leftover be stored in the food? Like, how long can I store my food for when in the fridge? Ideally, if it is a cooked food, you can store it for like 3 to 4 days. That is how long you can store them for, 3 to 4 days. once they are within that range, it is still good for consumption. And after that day, even you notice change in taste, change in odor. And if you're storing food in your fridge, I would advise you portion it so that you take the portion you will be able to warm once and consume. Not that you take a portion, after eating it up, you take it back to the fridge. That is not very, very advisable, because reheating period should be done once. Take the portion you want to consume, eat it up, and consume it once. Yeah, thank you very much. Number two question on my list is, how do I know if meat or poultry is well cooked? Ideally, we are supposed to have what they call kitchen thermometer. With this kitchen thermometer, you place it by the side of what you're cooking. It reads the temperature of what you cooked. Then it will give you the accurate or the normal temperature for a cooked beef or poultry product should be from 75 degree upward. If it is under 75 degree, that means it is not well cooked. And if you don't have a kitchen thermometer, you can as well use your, like we Africans use your sense of, like our just sense of seeing it. If it is not reddish, if some, you know if it is done by cooking it properly. Then sometimes if it is not done, you see that there are some sign of reddish or sign of blood in the meat. You can leave it a bit for it to cook properly. And if it is in the oven we are cooking it, we should try and check the texture. I think that might help in a way too. But the best guess is to have a kitchen thermometer. Which will lead me to the next question. He said, can I freeze food after it has been thawed or defrost? Yes, I would say yes, if only it has been thawed or defrost in the fridge. The best and proper way to thaw our food is to put them in the fridge. If you are going to use a portion of your if you are going to use any of your product and that has been frozen or that has been in the freezer, the best way to thaw is to put it in the fridge for like a day or two before you use them. Mostly within a day, it will come back to the proper temperature whereby you can easily use it. If you thaw your food in the fridge, you can refreeze it. But if you thaw your food or defrost your food with other method, it's advisable you don't refreeze them or put them back into in the freezer. Does that make sense? Which will now lead us to the third one. Question will lead us to the fourth question. Said, what is the best way to thaw or defrost our food, frozen food safely? Best way to defrost frozen food safely is by putting it in the refrigerator. Take it from the freezer, put it in the refrigerator, because the temperature of the refrigerator is a bit lower. Sorry, is a bit higher than the temperature of the freezer. The freezer, excuse me, the freezer temperature rate is advisable is on minus 18 degrees Celsius. That is the best temperature, or lower, not higher than that. And that of the fridge is always within 0 to 5 degree, so you can see that the difference is there. So that is why you can safely thaw your frozen food in the refrigerator. Secondly, you can thaw your frozen food safely in the microwave while using the frozen function of it, the froze function of it. There are some microwaves that has the function of the frozen. When you use the function properly, you can thaw your food with that method. And thirdly, you can thaw your food on running water. Take the food you want to thaw inside the zinc, run your water through it. By that, it will defrost properly. It might not be instantly, but it will defrost for you to be able to use it. That's why I said in the first question, once you defrost with other two methods, make sure that it is the food you are consuming immediately or you are cooking immediately you're defrosting, because you can't defrost with that method and take them back to the freezer. It is not too advisable. Then, which will now lead me to and before I leave this question, I will advise never to thaw or defrost our food on the counter or on the kitchen top on anywhere, just dumping our food on the kitchen table or on the kitchen top, like, okay, I want to cook later in the evening, okay, I'm going out, then you take it out from the fridge, then the next thing is to dump it on the kitchen table. It's not too advisable because microorganisms are everywhere, bacteria are everywhere, and bacteria in this thing, that is the frozen food in the freezer, as you said before, it's just in a sleeping mode. That's the best way to say it. It's in a sleeping mode. Putting it in a warm temperature or too hot temperature or in a room temperature might waking up this bacteria and begin to multiply. So that is why it is not good. It is not good to thaw or defrost our food on the on the kitchen table or on the counter. The best three method: defrost in the fridge, using the microwave, using the defrost function, then thirdly using the running water. Which will now lead us to the next question. The next question is, that's number 5. It said, is it safe to eat food past its expiration date? Is it good to eat food past its expiration date? Like I said in my former video, that's the last video I posted. I explained the difference between used by and best before. I said if a product has been written used by, it is advisable we use that product within the range of the date it should be used. Use it within the range of the date. Like if it's going to expire on the 5th, let it be used before or on the 5th. Before the 5th or on the 5th, not after the 5th, because the best of quality of that product, you only get them during the time phrase that has been written there. Whatever they use to preserve those things or whatever they use to preserve the food within that period, that is why it is written there. It is there as a guideline. Then number 2, the best before. As to say best before, though you can get a good quality after that date, but you get the best of quality before or on that date. So it is better we consume. So with best before, you can consume the product like a day or two after the date. You might not be getting the best of the quality, but the product might still be good for consumption 1 or 2 days after the expiration date. So most of the time, the product, we can determine this by the product we are getting, whatever they write on it, if it is used by or best before, or sometimes they say sold by. It depends on whatever they write there. Then we can use our initiative. That's why I said this thing is mainly common sense, common things that we think now we can use our initiative. But it's better we get information that will guide us properly, not to make mistake. And this will lead us to the next question. That's number 6. Do I need to wash my meat or products before cooking? Logically, with in the country I am in this place, in these countries, they said it is not advisable to wash poultry products or beef when you buy them from the store. They said, as what I was taught, that while washing you might be transferring microorganisms from one point to another. So in order to curb the spread of germs or to curb the cross contamination of diseases of bacteria, you can cook it. Cooking kills bacteria once it is cooked at the right temperature. But in a situation whereby you are in Africa, that I come from Africa, so I understand, whereby we know our products are not properly handled, or during the cutting process, I advise that you wash it. But while cleaning your products, while cleaning your beef, your poultry, be careful not to get other food around that place contaminated. That's what they call cross contamination. Try as much as possible to deal with it carefully in a spot. Then when you finish dealing with it, wash your hand properly with soap and under running water, not in a bowl, under running water. If that answered the question. which lead us to the next question. It said, how should I clean fruits? How should I clean fruits? How should we clean fruits? Properly, we should clean our fruits under running water. That is the best way to clean our fruits. We clean our fruit under running water. Any fruit you're getting, not in a bowl, fix with putting water in a bowl, no. On the water, let it run through it, then you get the best of quality. And some people might say they might drop a pinch of salt and soak their I want to put a pinch of salt and soak their fruit for a little while before running when washing under running water. That is fine too. You can do that, but make sure you wash your fruit under running water. Then the next one, and I would like to ship this in, please never use chemicals or soap to wash your fruit. It is not advisable to wash our fruit with chemicals or soap. Wash it under running water, and that should be safe and should be good enough for you to eat them. And please, and some people might say, okay, you can wash with vinegar. It might be good because vinegar might affect the end taste of your food. So I might not advise vinegar, but washing under running water should suit best. And the next question I'm getting is, he said, what is cross contamination and how can I avoid cross contamination? Cross contamination is transfer of bacteria from one food or one raw material into another one. So how do we avoid cross contamination? By not using the chopping board. Mostly the chopping board you use in cutting your raw meat, your raw poultry products. Don't use it to cut. Don't use the same um don't use the same chopping board to cut your raw vegetables. And if you would use it at all for each product, peradventure we don't have different one, it is advisable you deal with the raw vegetable, clean it properly, wash your hand carefully before dealing with your raw meat. And once you deal with your raw meat and it is cooking, make sure that make sure that after usage you wash your hand properly. Wash your hand properly with soap and under running water. I want to be fast now because of our time. The next question is, what temperature should my freezer be or my fridge be? I've said it before. Your fridge should be 0 to 5 degrees Celsius, while your freezer should be -18 below, not above -18, -18 below. Then the next question says, how can I tell if my food has gone bad? How can I tell if my food has gone bad? With our Sometimes the odor is enough. It's the smell. My God, once the smell is bad, it is not good for consumption. Once the color of the food has changed, it is not good for consumption. Once the smell and odor should have prompted us not even taste it at all. So with our sense of organ of seeing and smelling, that should help us. And that should make us that should be enough. With seeing and smelling, we should be able to tell if our food is still good or bad by that. And in conclusion, it is advisable for us to refrigerate our cooked food 2 hours or 1.5 hours after cooking. Please don't let us put our food over on the counter and leave it for hours before putting it in the fridge. Bacteria they multiply very well in room temperature. So it is mostly advisable after cooking, pack your food. I know I'm guilty of this, but I've been trying to change since I've gone through the class. So we should try as much as possible to refrigerate. Once you finish cooking, portion them how you want to portion them. Then at most, after cooking, 2 hours after cooking, put them in the refrigerator so that there won't be any growth of any form of bacteria and won't get our food contaminated, and they will be good from the handling process, from the starting of the food to the end product of maybe consuming the food. Keep your fridge below 4 to 5 degrees. Please don't let it be above that, just so that our food will still be edible for consumption. And please, again, do not throw your food, do not throw your food over the counter. It is not advisable. Thank you very much for tuning in into today's lecture. I really appreciate you. If you had stayed up to this point and you still listen to what I said, thank you very much. Like I said earlier, if you're coming here for the first time, please do well to subscribe, like, and share. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for tuning in. If you have any comments, one or two, please drop it in the comment section. I appreciate you. See you in my next video. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Bye.